Welcome back to RFL Town Hall. Many of you may know it. It's a conservative news website, and it's released its list of the 25 most influential people on the right. But most notable, at least to many of us, was who wasn't on it. None other than New Jersey Governor Christie. Now, Rick Perry got on the list. Sarah Palin made the list, and she can still see Alaska from her back door. Michelle Malkin even made the list, but not Christie. And Richard, I ask you this here. You're making up your own list. To me, he's top 5. Am I wrong?
No, definitely. Christie is a leader in the Republican Party. Doesn't have to be considered the most conservative, but he strikes the right balance of leadership for all people, not just Republicans and Democrats. And I don't care what the town hall poll says, he's a leader in the Republican Party.
Is it overhyped, the amount of resentment when he hugged the president along the Jersey Shore, that he's taken the Rand Pauls to task as much as he has? I mean, I've heard a lot of rumbling from folks on the right to say, you know, this guy's looking out for number one, he's not looking out for the party.
No, look, he's looking out for New Jersey, first of all. He was elected by the people of New Jersey. They're Democrats, Republicans, not affiliates. Blacks, white, Latinos, whoever in New Jersey, he's looking out for New Jersey.
He could win a primary fight, you think?
It would be tough, but I think he has a good shot.
It's a plus for Christie not being on this list. He doesn't want to be seen as the most conservative or as the most influential conservative. He wants to be seen as a moderate.
But every time we say that,
he wants to be seen as the right man for the right job.
Every time we say that, then we see the gauntlet of the primary, Andrew, and we're proven wrong. I mean, it makes sense, complete logical sense what you say, but then look what Mitt Romney had to do and how he had to contort himself in the primaries.
But Mitt Romney also entered the primary season as being the most electable of the Republican candidates, and he got the nomination.
For the last 10
No,
years.
I know, but it's the perception of who's the most electable, who can win, or is in the best position to win.
The evidence before us is that the Republican electorate that votes in primaries has no truck with that kind of standard. They are interested in nihilism.
That's not true. That's not because they nominated Mitt Romney, who was not the most conservative guy who was running, but they nominated him.
Andrew arguing the Republican side. I'm just out of this one.
They nominated him after a Flavor of the Month club with a cast of characters.
You know what, though?
Maybe nobody accused him. Nobody thought John McCain was the most conservative.
It'll be the greatest test on authenticity if that matters more than anything else. And I'm betting the public so desperately wants somebody who doesn't read off a cue card or a prompter, even if it's an act, I don't care, that they so want that. They might overlook the fact they don't agree with everything.
I don't think so, Richard.
We're 2 years off.
Not in Iowa. Not in Iowa.
We're 2 years off.
Not in places like that.
I don't know. You'd be surprised where he gets standing O's. And
this electorate is the electorate of legitimate rape and birthers. And those folks are not
Christie
going to
will
go
never play in America.
No.
Never in conservative communities.
That's one person who happens to be a Republican statement. Not the Republican Party statement, and how Republicans
This one goes to you, Richard, and it has to do with Larry Summers. Now, President wanted him as the next chair of the Fed. Well, that is officially dead. And if you want to put the date of death, this past Sunday, September 15th. And the cause, Democratic opposition. Now, is this really a win, I ask you, for the progressive win of the party? They hated this guy. They wanted Yellen instead. It looks like they may get her. But is it one of these cases where you win the battle but you lose the war because you've marginalized the president yet again? He's still got more than 3 years left in his term.
No, not at all. This was a fight about ideas. And Larry Summers became the latest incarnation of the Robert Rubin corporate Democrat that was part and parcel of what caused the country to get into so much trouble. Those kind of ideas are not well accepted in the Democratic Party across the board.
Let me play devil's advocate with you.
liberal.
Let me play devil's advocate, though. This argument that I hear from any progressive that they'll look at the bio of anybody up for a Fed chair. You really want somebody who didn't work on Wall Street, who doesn't understand here in a real sense derivatives and the real pitfalls and the realities?
I don't want somebody who doesn't understand derivatives, but that is not my choice. My choice is, among others, the vice chair of the Fed, who knows her way around this stuff as well as Larry Summers, or a guy who represents the end of Glass-Steagall, not significant restrictions on derivative trading and risky financial instruments. He was the wrong guy for the job. good for the Democratic
Look,
Party.
even the Democrats don't trust Obama on the economy, although I think
where
You couldn't let it go.
Where,
You had to pile on.
where do you get this stuff?
I mean, look,
How
Larry
do you
Summers is
jump?
talking about
Well-
deregulation. These are Republican principles. He's talking about jumpstarting the economy. Oh,
Yeah,
no,
these are the principles that
we
got
don't like
us
him.
into the disaster of 5 years ago, and the Democratic Party doesn't like it.
But isn't this also a sign to the progressives here, who've held their nose at a lot of things this president has done, that even that constituency that got in line even when they didn't love it for the last 4.5 years, that no longer? And where is the core constituencies for this president more to get anything done?
Depends on the issue. This was an appointment that will outlast Obama. It's supposed to be a nonpartisan appointment.
Yeah.
It's not and the Democratic Party did what the Republican Party should have done to Bush.
One question. Take the politics out. Some of the most effective leaders at the end, the LBJs of the world, you got to break some elbows here to get what you want done. I probably screwed up the analogy, but you get my drift. My point is, at the end of the day, if the president can't get his own Fed chair through his own party, kind of neutered a little bit here. And there's no price to pay for anybody who went against
I mean,
him.
Absolutely right,
ever
Richard.
since you went off
Absolutely
the
right.
deep end on Syria, you've been sort of focused on this notion that Obama is the issue. You guys should go have dinner together. You know, and you should buy. This,
I'm all for that.
This has nothing to do with it. Every once in a while, it's very healthy for a president to be told, nah, I'm not so sure this is the right way to go. That's why we have legislatures.
But this president does need some victories. He's
yeah,
on a losing
he just
streak.
had a. What do you?
He needs some
Syria-
victories.
Syria's a losing streak.
Absolutely.
No.
I
agree with you on
I
Syria.
believe he had a victory last November. I think that was a pretty
And
big
since
one.
then, when's the last one?
That's true.
That's
yeah,
a
well,
pretty big one. That usually carries some weight and gives you some
Not
time.
anymore,
No,
it
it
seems.
Apparently not.
They're talking 2016
Right.
apparently, and we're not even through September. All right. All right, fellas, going to be back with a couple questions for these two guys after the break. Stay with us.